Close your eyes, take a slow breath in, and let it out. Tonight, you are going somewhere very far away, somewhere so far that no road you know can reach it. You are going to the edge of the world, to a land of cold, salt wind, gray stone shores, and skies that go on forever. You are going to the north, to a time over 1,000 years ago, a world of oak and iron, wool and fire, sea and silence. You will not be fighting tonight. You will not be conquering tonight. Tonight, you will simply, live, you will feel the weight of a Viking life settle around you, slow and heavy and real. Let your body sink into the warmth where you lie now. Let your breath slow down. Let your hands rest. And simply listen. It is still the middle of the night when you wake. The longhouse is dark, deeply dark. The fire at the center of the room has burned low, just a bed of glowing embers, orange and red beneath a fine layer of white ash. The smoke drifts upward, slowly, finding its way out through the hole in the roof. You can smell it. Wood smoke and the salt smell that never leaves this place. Even here, far from the shore, the sea is always in the air. You are lying on a wooden sleeping bench built into the longhouse wall, raised off the earth floor, covered with animal hides and rough wool blankets. The wool is coarse against your skin, but warm, thick, heavy in the way only real wool is heavy. Somewhere in the darkness, a child turns over in their sleep. A dog shifts near the embers. The great carved posts that hold up the roof rise above you in the dark, massive, ancient feeling, covered in dim, running spirals that you cannot quite see. Outside the longhouse, the wind moves through the pine trees, a steady, low sound, like breathing. The whole world seems to be asleep. You pull the sheepskin closer. Just a little longer, just a few more moments in the warmth. The wood of the bench is smooth beneath your hands, worn down by years of sleepers before you. You breathe in. You breathe out. The embers pulse. The wind moves, and slowly, slowly, the darkness above the smoke hole begins to change. Not lighter exactly, just different. The pure black of midnight giving way to something slightly less than black. The first gray hint of a northern dawn. You rise slowly. There is no rushing here. You sit up on the sleeping bench and the cold air meets your face, sharp and clean, a reminder of where you are and what the day holds. Your breath makes a small mist. You pull on your tunic first, heavy undyed linen, then your woolen trousers, thick and slightly scratchy, tied at the waist with a woven belt. You wrap a length of rough wool around your shoulders like a cloak, and tie it with a simple pin at one shoulder. The metal is cold for a moment, then it warms to your skin. Your boots are near the bench, stiff with cold, made from the hide of a cow, sewn inside out so the stitches stay dry. You push your feet in, lace them slowly. The leather cord rough between your fingers. You move toward the fire. Someone has already stirred it. A woman who woke before you has added wood, and the fire is building again. Small flames beginning to reach up through the new logs, crackling quietly, sending warm light across the packed earth floor. The longhouse is beginning to stir, bodies moving in the dark, low voices, not words yet, just sounds, the sounds of people waking slowly. You crouch near the fire and hold your hands out. The warmth reaches you. You close your eyes for just a moment. The sound of the fire, the smell of the smoke, the gentle weight of the wool around your shoulders. Everything moves slowly here. There is no other speed. You step outside into the gray dawn. The cold hits you completely. A clean, full cold. The kind that fills your lungs and makes you feel very awake and very small at the same time. The sky to the east is showing the first pale seam of light, thin silver along the horizon. Above it, the sky is still dark blue and full of fading stars. The ground beneath your boots is hard, frost stiffened, the grass pale and stiff. You walk the path down to the shore. It is not far. You can hear the sea before you see it, a deep, constant sound, not crashing, just moving. The long, slow surge and retreat of gray water against gray stone. The path opens onto the beach, broad, flat stones rounded by 1,000 years of water. Your boots make a soft, crunching sound with each step. And there she is, The longship pulled up onto the shore, resting on wooden rollers, her hull dark with tar and sea and age, long and narrow, sitting low and flat like a sleeping creature. Her bow curves upward in a long, elegant sweep. The strakes, the overlapping planks of her hull, run in perfect lines from bow to stern, each one fitted close against the next, sealed with tarred rope and animal hair to keep the cold sea out. The mast is down, laid along the center of the ship, the great woolen sail furled and lashed. You walk to the hull and rest your hand against the wood. It is cold and slightly damp, grained and rough under your palm. This ship has been in the sea, has felt it from the inside. She carries that memory in every plank. You stand there for a moment, hand on the wood, listening to the sea. There is always work. The ship must always be tended, checked, repaired. You move to the stern and crouch to look at the lower strakes, running your hand along the hull, feeling for any soft spots, any swelling in the wood, any seam where the caulking has dried and cracked and let the cold water wheedle in. Here, near the waterline, a seam needs attention. You find the tools. A small iron caulking iron, a bundle of tarred rope, a pot of black pitch set near a small shore fire that someone else lit before you arrived. The pitch is warm, steaming slightly in the cold air. It smells sharp and dark, like pine sap made heavier and deeper. You work it carefully into the seam, pressing it in with the iron. The tool is smooth in your hand, weighted, familiar. The sound it makes is quiet, a small, firm tapping, and the smell of warm tar wraps around you. The sun is up now, not high, not warm, but present, a white disk behind thin clouds, giving the world a flat, even pewter light. The sea is gray-green this morning, small waves moving in steady lines toward the shore, each one catching that flat light for just a moment before it breaks and retreats. Seabirds circle overhead, calling to each other in voices that have no softness in them, sharp and salt-worn like everything else here. You finish the seam. You wipe the iron clean. You sit back on your heels and look along the hull. There is satisfaction in this, not glory, not excitement, just the quiet, solid feeling of a thing done well. By mid-morning, the work has shifted. There are provisions to check, to pack, to load. You carry wooden casks from the longhouse storehouse down to the shore, each one heavy with salted fish, packed tight in layers with sea salt until the flesh has gone firm and pale. The smell is strong, salt and fish and something deep and briny, the smell of preserved things, of winter food, of survival. You set each cask down in the shallow, curved belly of the ship, wedging them so they will not roll. There are also flat, hard loaves of bread, baked dark and dry, almost like stone. They will last weeks at sea without going soft, and dried meat, strips of smoked mutton, very dark, tied in bundles with cord, and skins of fresh water, and a small iron pot for cooking, if cooking is possible, if the weather allows a fire on the sea. You move back and forth from storehouse to shore, the cold air, the gray light, the sounds of the sea and the birds and the low voices of the others working nearby. Everything has a rhythm here. Load and carry and set down. Load and carry and set down. Your arms know this work. Your back knows this work. By the time the provisions are loaded, you are warm from the effort, even in the cold air, a deep warmth from the inside that spreads all the way to your hands. You stand in the bow of the ship, looking out at the water. The horizon is a clean, dark line where gray sea meets gray sky. Somewhere beyond that line, other shores. But for now, there is only this shore, this ship, this cold, quiet morning. The ship moves. You felt it the moment she lifted off the rollers and the sea took her. A lightness, a shift, like something living waking up. 16 pairs of oars in the water. The rhythm is slow and steady. The oarsman beside you pulls in silence, a big man with a beard the color of old rope, his hands wrapped in strips of cloth to spare the palms. The blade enters the water cleanly, pulls, lifts, feathers, enters again, over and over. The shore falls behind. The longhouse, the pine trees, the smoke rising from the settlement, all of it growing smaller and quieter until there is only the sea. The creak of the oars in their rowlocks is a constant sound, rhythmic as breathing, the ship's own slow heartbeat. The hull moves beneath you, not roughly, but not smoothly either. There is a gentle rolling, a rise and fall, the sea lifting you and setting you down, lifting you and setting you down. The spray comes over the bow in small cold bursts. It touches your face, your hands, cold and salt and alive. You pull your oar and pull again. Your mind goes quiet in the rhythm. There is nothing to think about here, only the pull, the lift, the feather, the entry, only the gray water and the gray sky and the slow, regular sound of 16 blades moving together. Time passes differently at sea. You are aware of it only in the slow arc of the sun, moving above the cloud cover, a soft white light that tells you east from west but gives no warmth. By early afternoon, a wind comes from the northwest, steady and cold. The sail goes up. You ship your oar and watch. The great rectangular sail unfurls, gray and rust-red in the flat light, the weave of it thick and dense, made to hold the wind. It fills slowly, bellying out, and the ship surges forward. A different motion now, not the steady push of oars, but something freer, a lean into the wind, a long reaching forward. The sound changes too, a low singing in the rigging, the sail straining at its lines, the hull cutting water with a sound like tearing cloth. You sit back against the gunwale. The ship is doing the work now. You let your head rest against the smooth wood and watch the clouds move above you. The oldest man on the ship stands near the steering oar. He is not large, but he is very still. His eyes are pale and narrow, always moving, reading something you cannot yet see. He reads the sea the way you might read a face, the color of the water, the texture of the surface, the direction the swells come from, the height of each swell, the gap between them. He looks at the sky, at the clouds, at the way the birds fly. He looks at the sun, measuring its position with nothing more than his hand held up against the horizon. He has no chart, no instrument, only the knowledge that has been building in him for 40 years at sea. You watch him, the way he shifts his weight, the way his hand rests lightly on the steering oar, not gripping it, just touching it, feeling through the wood what the sea is doing beneath the hull. He looks toward the horizon, and he knows, not guesses, knows, the current here, the depth beneath, how far the land lies, which direction it is in. The sea tells him all of this, in a language you are only beginning to understand. You watch his face, calm, unhurried, worn by weather the way all things here are worn, but still. The sun is gone now, not set, just gone behind a bank of cloud that came in low from the west in the late afternoon. The air has dropped another degree. The wind has sharpened. You feel it in your face first, then through your clothing, finding the places where the wool is thinner, the gap at your neck, the space between your sleeve and your glove. You pull your cloak tighter. The sea has changed color, darker now, a deep blue-gray that looks cold all the way down. The other men have gone quiet, each one sitting with their own thoughts. Some have pulled up their hoods, some sit with their eyes half closed. The ship moves steadily. The sail holds its wind. You eat something, strips of dried fish taken from a bundle near your feet, tough, very salty, the salt hitting the back of your jaw with a deep, clean sharpness. You chew slowly. The flavor is strong, direct, nothing subtle about it, just the taste of salt and sea and preserved flesh. You wash it down with a mouthful of water from the skin. The water is flat and slightly wooden tasting from the cask, but it is real water, and cold. You lean back against the gunwale again, the motion of the ship, the sound of the sail, the cold against your face. All of it is very present, very immediate. You are here, completely here. There is no room in this moment for anything else. The coast appears in the last gray hour of daylight, a dark line first, low and uncertain, the horizon thickening and sharpening into something solid, rock and pine and the pale gleam of a shore. The sail comes down, the oars go out. The rhythm returns, slower now, tired, but steady. The steering oar angles the ship toward a sheltered bay, a curve of shore protected by two long arms of black rock reaching out into the water. The bottom here is sandy. You can see it through the clear cold water, pale amber and white. The keel touches. There is a sensation of stillness, the ship no longer moving beneath you, the sea still pushing at the hull but the ground holding you fast. Men drop over the side into the shallows. You feel the cold water fill your boots immediately, a cold so sharp it takes the breath, but you are already moving, hauling on the prow rope, dragging the ship up onto the sand and gravel with the others. Your feet find the shore, solid ground. It feels strange for a moment, too still, your legs still remembering the roll of the sea. But then the stillness takes hold, and you breathe. The fire is built from driftwood above the high tide line. The wood is pale and salt-bleached. It burns with a greenish tinge at the edges, a strange, beautiful color. Everyone gathers around it. The cold that came on the water is still in your bones, still sitting deep in your shoulders and the backs of your hands, and the fire reaches toward you like something alive. You hold your hands out. The heat comes slowly, first just to the surface of your skin, then deeper. The iron pot is set on a flat stone near the coals. Water and dried fish and a handful of dried grain go in. The smell as it heats is dense, fishy and starchy. Not fine, but real, the smell of food that will fill you. You sit cross-legged on the sand. Your wet boots are set near the fire to dry, steam rising gently from the leather. Someone begins to talk, low, unhurried. The tone of a man telling something he has seen before, or heard before. The others listen. The fire pops. A log shifts and settles, sending a brief shower of sparks upward into the dark. They rise, and then they are gone, swallowed by the night. The stew is ready. You take your bowl, wooden, smooth, and hold it in both hands, the warmth of it through the wood. You eat slowly. Each spoonful is simple, salt and fish and grain, but you are very hungry, and it is very good. The fire burns lower. The talking has faded. Some of the men are already asleep, wrapped in their cloaks, heads resting on their packs. You lean back on your elbows and look up at the sky. The clouds have cleared. The sky above you is vast and very dark, and it is full of stars, not the few dozen you might see from a bright place, all of them, a dense river of light from one horizon to the other, the Milky Way visible as a soft glow, and around it, between it, everywhere, stars. You find the one that does not move, the fixed star, the one the navigator uses, the one true constant in the northern sky. It sits above the north horizon, steady, bright. Everything else wheels slowly around it, the whole sky turning. So slowly you cannot see the movement but can sense it, like the turning of a very large and very quiet thing. The cold is around you, but the fire is warm at your side. The sand is firm beneath you. The sea makes its steady sound at the edge of the dark. Not far, just there. It's slow breathing. You watch the stars. Your eyes are heavy. The weight of the day settling through your body. The rowing, the cold, the work of your hands, the salt and wind and motion. All of it settling down now, getting heavier, getting quieter. You will sleep in the longhouse tonight. A farmer's longhouse not far up from the shore. Low stone walls and a turf roof grown soft with moss. The thatch at the edges gone silver in the firelight. Inside, the fire runs down the center of the long room, just embers now, deep and glowing, banked for the night. The smell of it is old, smoke and earth and the sweet rot of old straw. And underneath everything the salt that follows you from the sea. Animal hides on the sleeping benches. Rough and warm, you pull a sheepskin over you. The wool is thick, almost weightless. The kind of warmth that wraps around you without pressing down. The embers breathe, in and out. The wind outside moves across the turf roof. A low, long, continuous sound. The same sound the pines make. The same sound the sea makes. Everything here breathing in the same slow rhythm. Your eyes close. The day comes back in small fragments. The cold mist at the shore. The caulking iron warm in your hand. the sail filling with wind. The stars, they come and go without insisting. They are already beginning to dissolve, already becoming part of the long drift downward. Your breathing slows, the embers pulse once, twice, someone's quiet breathing in the dark. The wind, the sheep will heavy and warm above you. Let it all go. Let the North Sea take it. Let the stars wheel on without you for a while. You have done enough today. You have been here completely. And now you can rest, drift, down into the warmth, down into the silence, down, down into the deep, quiet dark, where the longhouse holds you, and the fire breathes, and the world turns slowly, and you are safe, and you are warm, and you are gone.